Oh, doesn't that look good? Most of us like our roast beef nice and rare, medium rare maybe. My buddy Woody likes it, I don't know, so cooked that shoe leather's not quite as soft. But you know what? This is what we're going to make. We can't always afford the really good cuts of beef. So this is poor man's prime rib. A cheaper cut, but you know what? We're going to cook it this way and you're going to find out it does taste pretty good. So let's get everything out and do it right now. Okay, so here's our star of the show. That is a 2.5 pound eye of the round roast. It's not quite the 3 pounds the recipe called for, but we're going to make this work. Along with the roast, we needed some spices, salt and pepper, some garlic powder, some onion powder, and that's all we need for this recipe. Put the roast aside, get out a bowl. There's a teaspoon of pepper, teaspoon of salt, teaspoon of garlic powder, and a teaspoon of onion powder. That's all we need. We're going to mix all this up. And when I did it, it was a little salty. So if you don't like it really salty, cut back to about a half a teaspoon of salt. You should be fine. You want all the little clumps and stuff that happen to be in there all mixed out. And you know what? That's it. So here's our roast. And we're just going to take our... I'm not sure why I pulled it upside down. I don't know what I was thinking, but we're going to take our spice mixture and carefully put it on all sides. Give it a little rub in. Make sure everything's covered. You want that taste in the roast. And when you're done, we'll put it aside. Set the oven to 500 degrees. So here's a roasting pan. Now I'm going to put just a touch of water. That's maybe a tablespoon or two of water. It's not much. Because I like gravy, right? Into the pan we go. And into the oven we go. The oven's at 500 and it's going in uncovered. The oven's at 500. The second you put it in, you drop it to the 475. And you need 7 minutes a pound. So that's what we did. And our timer's done. 17 minutes later, 18 actually is what I did. Don't open the oven at this point. 2.5 hours in the oven with the temperature off. And that thing's looking pretty good. I'm telling you, it smells good. So we've let it cool down. It's ready to carve at this point. It's been resting in the oven for 2.5 hours. So let's get our knife out and give it a carve. And take a look. Oh my word, does that ever look good. I'll tell you, that's probably the best I've ever done with a round roast. Usually it's really hard to gauge. So we chopped it all up. Took a little bit of effort, but let me grab a hunk here. And look at that. Look at that. Now that is pretty well medium rare, I would say. Wouldn't you? And if you don't like it that way, just leave it in the oven a little longer before you turn the temperature off. So here's our juice at the bottom. I'm glad I put a little bit of water in there. We're going to put a little more in. About a cup-ish of potato water, because I'm making potatoes to go with this dish. And to that is some Bisto or cornstarch in cold water, like a half a cup to 3/4 of a cup of cold water, and with a heaping tablespoon of either Bisto or cornstarch if you don't have Bisto, and maybe even a little beef flavoring if you're just using cornstarch. Into our pan, away we go. Mix it all together, mix, 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 ever so gently. Bring it up to a boil. And once it's boiling, give it a minute or so. It's going to thicken just like that. We get out. I do know how to use a measuring cup, by the way. And you can see right here how you use a measuring cup. That's for putting your gravy in. So we'll pour that in, and looky here. Looks to me like we got just over a cup, maybe closer to a cup and a half of gravy. And that's perfect for our meal. Hey, another great recipe. I hope you'll give it a try. Leave me a comment below, one way or the other. Listen, if you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button and hit the bell, because that'll tell you the next time I upload a video. Feel free to share this and any of my other videos. And thanks for stopping by and watching. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.